Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to customize this frontal together, and this is a 13 by 6 lace frontal, and it came as it is. It's not bleached, it's not pre-plucked, it has a lot of hair. And also this frontal is a bit different. As you can see in the middle, there's a bit of like a shaded part. It's the hardest frontal I've ever seen. That part there is just every difficult. I don't know if you can see, but the knots are very tight more than the other places, and I'm going to show you how to do that if your frontal comes like this. So I'm going to use this bleach is perfect wave. I just used a different container. For the developer, I'll be using a 30% developer. It's also perfect wave. So the mixing ratio for this one, I used 1 scoop of bleach and maybe a quarter of the peroxide, because you want it to be very thick. You don't want it to be runny and very thin, because it's going to seep through the lace, and then it will end up bleaching your baby hairs and all the other hair that is very close to the lace. So I did tell you guys that this frontal has this part where it's very tough. The hairs are very thick, so that's why I'm going to start bleaching, because I want it to process before it starts on the baby hairs. So I'll put that on gently, so not pressing onto the lace too much so that it doesn't seep through, and then I'll leave it on for 5 minutes. So now that I've distributed the bleach throughout, I'm just going to show you guys the baby hair part that I left. So after 5 minutes, I will take the rest of the bleach and put it onto the baby hair part where I didn't place bleach initially. So don't leave it on for too long without checking it, because this section has very thin hair. It's easy for bleach to just pass through compared to the middle part, as you can see. So once I leave it on for 10 minutes, I keep checking it just to see how it's processing, because you don't want to leave it on for 10 minutes without checking. You might find that some hair has over processed and then it's starting to bend, which happened to me. And when that happens, you spray water just to reduce the processing. So I realized that the sides were actually burning, and I decided to wash the bleach off. So now that the bleach is out, I will be taking my purple shampoo, and I'm just going to put it on the lace, directly on the lace. Remember the other times I used to put it in water and then dip this in, but I've changed how I do my things now. I'm going to directly put the purple shampoo and massage it for some time, and then I will leave it on for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I will rinse off the purple shampoo and completely remove it from the lace. If you don't have a purple shampoo, you can alternatively use Isoplas shampoo. So now I'm just going to wash off the lace and the hair with the Tresemme. This is the Isoplas shampoo that I was telling you guys about. Then you can wash it off. Now I've also added a step, which is conditioning with a purple conditioner, but I don't have it at this point. I only have the primer, the pre-toning primer. What I use this for is for spraying onto the lace and the knots. It helps with making them a little bit smoother and appear very, what can I say? They actually appear more soft compared to how they would normally appear. And then I will use the Tresemme conditioner as well, just to condition the whole frontal. And for this process, I left it on for 30 minutes before I could wash it off. Now here is the bleached frontal. As you can see, it looks bleached. But the middle part had a problem. I felt like the knots were still black. Not everything was bleached out, although you guys can see. For me, I scrutinized it and I realized that it was not that bleached, but I didn't want to ruin the other side, so I just decided to continue with it. And as you can see how it looks on my skin, it matches quite well. So what I can advise is, if your skin is lighter than mine, you can always go back to the purple conditioner and remove the brussiness. Now let's move on to customizing by plucking out the hairs. As I mentioned, I do have a thin part that doesn't have a lot of hair, so I'm going to remove it first from all the hairs because I don't want to plug it out first. I might end up over plugging it. This is the kind of tweezer that I'm going to be using. I've had this tweezer for some time now, and I use it for plucking out. And I'm going to start with the side. What you want to do is you want to tweeze the hair in all directions. Once you tweeze it to the left and you realize that when you comb it out, it is going to look as flawless as possible, you take it to the other side as well and pluck it out. I decided to put some tissue paper because I felt like you guys cannot really see what is happening, and I also couldn't see as well. I didn't want to over remove the hair, and then the next thing I have bald spots, which I'm going to talk about in the next few minutes. This is the first batch of hair that I removed. Also, you don't want to focus too much at one point because this is how you end up having bald spots. And don't forget to comb out the hair. You pluck it out, you comb the hair back just to see how much you've removed, because if you just keep on plucking without combing out the hair, you might actually realize that you've removed an entire section and the entire section is just bald. So I always go back and compare it with the other side just to see if I'm still on the right track. And as you can see, there's a little bit of hair that shows to be removed. Now I'm moving on to that tough section that I was telling you guys about. This here, you need to be patient, because if you're not patient, you might actually rip off the closure. The knots here are very tight and they're very big compared to the other sides. And what you want to do is you want to hold your tweezer as close as possible so that when you pick it up, it pulls out. And you don't want to pick up too many hairs at the same time. That's how you're also going to end with bald spots. You need to pick up once at a place and then move on to the other parts, comb it out, and then go back again. I will try to speed up this process because it took me so much time, but you will be able to see what was happening throughout. So after that long process, I combed it out and moved on to using a mannequin head. This is how I wanted to direct my baby hairs. I won't do too much, but I'll just show you guys an easy way to do it. So I'm going to separate the two hairs. I'll have a small section of baby hairs, and then the rest of the hair I'll take it backwards. I'm using the ORS wrap set mousse. For those who are familiar to my channel, have seen this quite a number of times. And what the mousse does, it actually tames the hair. So I also feel like this part is a little bit self-explanatory, and what I'm going to do is I will cut a little bit of the baby hairs just to be able to swoop them, if that's a word, so that I can swoop them nicely, because now they are too long, and when you swoop them, they're not gonna give you any shape. And this is the final product. It doesn't look so great because the lace is not melted, it's on a mannequin, but I'm trying to show you guys how it looks on my skin. But my scalp is a little bit light, and I will try to attach a picture of how this frontal looked afterwards, and this is the picture. I hope you guys learned something from it, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.